In a world that constantly demands your attention, social media, opinions, noise, and endless comparisons, it's easy to lose sight of the most important project you'll ever work on yourself. The truth is, you are the foundation of everything you build in life. Your relationships, your career, your happiness, they all reflect who you are on the inside. When you make yourself your top priority, you stop chasing validation and start building value. You stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. Focusing on yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. When you invest time in understanding your thoughts, habits, and emotions, you gain the power to shape your future. Every minute you spend improving yourself compounds into greater strength, confidence, and clarity. The more disciplined you become within, the more control you gain over what happens around you. Self-improvement is not a luxury. It is the foundation upon which every form of success is built. Before you can conquer the world outside, you must first conquer the world within. Many people spend their lives trying to fix what's around them, changing jobs, switching environments, seeking validation from others, yet they forget the simple truth that nothing around them will change until they change themselves. Life is an echo. What you project outward is only a reflection of what exists inside you. When your thoughts are clear, your goals are focused, and your habits are disciplined, the world starts to respond in your favor. Every achievement, every opportunity, every meaningful relationship is drawn to the person you are becoming, not the person you were. The real work of success begins in silence, when no one is watching, when there's no applause, no reward, and no recognition. It happens when you decide to take responsibility for who you are and who you're becoming. Self-improvement is not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about recognizing that you are your greatest project, and every effort you make to refine your character, sharpen your mind, and strengthen your willpower moves you one step closer to the life you desire. You cannot build a strong house on a weak foundation, and the same is true for your life. Without self-discipline, without growth, without a strong inner core, success will collapse the moment it's tested. To improve yourself, you must first become aware of your current state. Self-awareness is the first key to growth. You must be brutally honest about your weaknesses, your fears, and the habits that keep you stagnant. Growth begins when you stop lying to yourself. The moment you acknowledge where you stand, you give yourself the power to change direction. Most people avoid looking inward because it's uncomfortable to face their truth. But discomfort is the birthplace of transformation. Every time you confront your limitations, you weaken them. Every time you challenge your excuses, you reclaim control over your life. Self-improvement is also about learning to take full ownership of your destiny. You cannot blame others for your circumstances and expect to grow. The instant you shift from blame to responsibility, your life begins to evolve. You realize that no one is coming to save you, and that realization, instead of being depressing, becomes liberating. Because now you understand that you are the creator of your reality. Your success, your happiness, your peace, they all depend on the choices you make every single day. That awareness transforms your mindset from that of a victim to that of a victor. Improving yourself is not always glamorous. It requires sacrifice. It means waking up early when you want to sleep in. It means saying no to distractions that waste your time. It means reading instead of scrolling, practicing discipline instead of comfort, and investing in habits that feed your mind rather than numb it. Growth is rarely visible in the beginning. Just like a seed beneath the soil, your progress is happening in silence, preparing you for the moment when your potential will finally break through the surface. Most people give up during this hidden phase, thinking their efforts don't matter, but that's when persistence matters most. Real transformation takes time, patience, and unwavering commitment. Every skill you learn, every positive habit you build, every negative pattern you break, these are all investments in your future self. You're not just improving for today, you're building a stronger version of yourself that will face life's challenges with clarity and confidence. The stronger you become internally, the less the world can shake you externally. You stop reacting to chaos, and instead you begin to respond with purpose. That is the power of a person who has mastered self-improvement. They no longer depend on external conditions for happiness because they have built an unshakable foundation within. There will be times when growth feels lonely. As you improve, you may outgrow certain people, environments, and even versions of yourself. It's natural. Evolution requires separation from anything that keeps you small. Some will misunderstand your focus. They'll say you've changed, and they'll be right, you have. But that change is not betrayal, it's progress. The person you are becoming cannot thrive in the same space as the person you once were. Keep moving forward even when no one understands your journey, because the path of self-improvement is not meant to be crowded. True growth also demands humility. It requires you to admit that you don't know everything, that you still have more to learn, more to master, more to unlearn. The wisest people are those who remain students of life. They are open to new ideas, receptive to feedback, and willing to challenge their own beliefs. Every lesson, every setback, every failure becomes a stepping stone toward wisdom. When you see life as a continuous learning process, you stop fearing mistakes. You understand that each failure refines your character and sharpens your insight. Growth is not about never falling. It's about rising every time you do. As you commit to self-improvement, you begin to see how your inner work transforms your outer world. Your energy changes, your standards rise, and your perspective deepens. You stop settling for less because you recognize your worth. You attract better opportunities because you have become better yourself. Your habits start to reflect your vision, and your daily routine becomes a blueprint for success. Self-improvement aligns you with purpose. It gives you direction when life feels uncertain and strength when challenges arise. When you focus on improving yourself, you no longer chase success. You attract it. Success becomes a byproduct of who you are becoming. The wealth, recognition, and respect that people strive for externally are naturally drawn to those who are constantly working on themselves. Because people who grow inspire growth. People who are disciplined attract trust. People who are confident draw opportunities. The outer world is simply mirroring your internal evolution. At its core, self-improvement is an act of self-respect. It's saying, I deserve more, and I am willing to do the work to get it. It's choosing progress over comfort, purpose over distraction, and responsibility over excuses. Every day you commit to growth, you reinforce your belief that you are capable of greatness. And the more you believe it, the more your actions begin to align with that belief. So when you choose to improve yourself, your mind, your habits, your thinking, you are not just changing your life, you are rewriting your destiny. Everything you want begins with you. The world will rise to meet the standard you set for yourself. And that is why self-improvement is not optional. It is the foundation upon which every lasting success is built. Stop comparing. Start becoming. That single shift in mindset can change the entire direction of your life. We live in a time when comparison is almost impossible to escape. Every scroll through social media, every conversation about someone else's success, every glimpse of what others have achieved can make you question your own worth and progress. You begin to wonder if you're behind, if you're not doing enough, if your dreams are taking too long. But comparison is a trap. It steals your peace, your focus, and your motivation. The moment you start measuring your life by someone else's timeline, you stop living your own. The truth is, you were never meant to follow their path. You have your own journey, your own lessons, your own pace. And the only person you need to compete with is the one you were yesterday. When you spend your energy watching others, you lose sight of your own direction. You start trying to copy their moves, mimic their style, or chase their definition of success. But the more you do that, the further you drift from your authentic self. You cannot become great by imitating others. You become great by discovering who you truly are and committing to becoming the best version of that person. The world doesn't need another copy. It needs your originality, your creativity, your unique contribution. Every minute you waste comparing your journey to someone else's is a minute you could have spent building your own. The danger of comparison is that it creates illusion. You see someone's highlight reel and compare it to your behind the scenes. You see their success, but not their sacrifices. You see their results, but not the years of struggle that came before them. Everyone is fighting battles you cannot see. Everyone is walking a path with challenges and doubts they don't show. When you compare yourself to others, you are judging your reality against their edited version. It's an unfair measurement that will always make you feel like you're falling short. Instead of resenting their success, learn from it. Let it inspire you, not discourage you. If someone else has achieved something great, it's proof that it's possible. Use it as fuel, not frustration. The moment you let go of comparison, you free yourself to grow at your own pace. Growth is not a race, it's a process. Flowers bloom at different times, but they all add beauty to the garden. Some people rise early, others later, but timing does not define worth. What matters is that you are moving forward, that you are becoming better than you were before. When you stop trying to match others and start focusing on your own progress, you'll notice something powerful. You'll begin to feel lighter. The burden of proving yourself disappears, replaced by the joy of improving yourself. Becoming your best self requires self-awareness and patience. You must learn to measure success by your internal standards, not external ones. Ask yourself, am I growing? Am I learning? Am I becoming more disciplined, more confident, more peaceful? These are the real indicators of progress. Society tells you that success means fame, wealth, or recognition. But real success is silent. It's waking up with purpose, going to bed with peace, and knowing that each day you gave your best effort to become better than you were yesterday. Comparison thrives on insecurity. When you don't know your value, you start looking for it in others. But once you truly understand your worth, comparison loses its power. You realize that no one can do what you do in the way you do it. You understand that your strength, your story, and your struggles are what make you irreplaceable. Every person on this planet has a unique combination of experiences and talents that no one else can replicate. The moment you embrace that truth, you stop competing and start creating. There is immense freedom in focusing solely on your lane. When you channel your energy into self-improvement instead of self-comparison, progress becomes inevitable. You stop being distracted by what others are doing and start investing in what you can control, your mindset, your discipline, your consistency. Each day becomes an opportunity to refine yourself, not to prove yourself. You start enjoying the process rather than obsessing over results. That shift transforms your entire outlook on life because you finally understand that your only real competition is your former self. Becoming the best version of yourself requires humility because it means admitting that you're still learning. It means accepting that growth doesn't always look glamorous. Sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes it feels invisible. But while others are busy showing off their progress, you're busy building yours. Real improvement doesn't need to be broadcast, it needs to be lived. Your evolution will speak for itself in time. People will notice the calm in your presence, the clarity in your words, and the confidence in your actions. That's what happens when you stop comparing and start becoming. One of the most damaging effects of comparison is that it shifts your focus from gratitude to lack. You stop appreciating what you have and start fixating on what you don't. Gratitude is the antidote to comparison. When you focus on what's good in your life, your perspective changes. You begin to see how far you've already come, how much you've already overcome, and how blessed you already are. That sense of appreciation fuels even more growth. Because when you are grateful, you are content. And when you are content, you create from abundance, not from desperation. Remember that your pace doesn't determine your potential. Some people reach milestones quickly, while others take longer. But what truly matters is staying committed. Life is not a sprint. It's a long, winding journey. Some seasons are for planting, others for harvesting. Comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20 will only discourage you. Instead, focus on writing your own story with intention and patience. The only way to lose is to stop showing up for yourself. Every step you take, no matter how small, moves you closer to your vision. When you focus on becoming instead of comparing, life begins to feel more meaningful. You stop measuring yourself against others and start aligning yourself with purpose. You begin to find joy in growth, peace in progress, and satisfaction in self-mastery. The need for validation fades because your confidence now comes from within. You become grounded, steady, and unstoppable. The noise of the world no longer distracts you because you've learned to listen to your own inner voice. Each day, remind yourself that your only mission is to become better than you were before. Better in thought, better in action, better in spirit. Celebrate your small wins, for they are the building blocks of greatness. Forgive yourself for your mistakes, for they are the lessons that strengthen your wisdom. Don't rush your process, respect it. Every stage of your journey is shaping you for something greater. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to be consistent. So stop comparing and start becoming. Stop chasing someone else's definition of success and start crafting your own. Your path is yours alone, designed with a purpose that no one else can fulfill. The moment you realize that, you will no longer waste time watching others. You'll be too busy becoming the person you were always meant to be. Discipline creates transformation. It is the invisible bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Everyone dreams of success, happiness, and freedom, but only a few are willing to pay the price of discipline. Discipline is not a punishment. It is a form of self-respect. It is the daily decision to act according to your purpose instead of your mood, to stay committed when motivation fades, and to do what's necessary even when it's inconvenient. The truth is simple. Without discipline, potential remains dormant. Dreams stay dreams, but with discipline, you can turn even the smallest effort into something extraordinary. Every great life you admire was built not by talent alone, but by consistent, disciplined action. Discipline is the art of mastering yourself. It means training your mind to obey your vision instead of your impulses. Most people are prisoners of their feelings. They act when they feel inspired and stop when they feel tired. But feelings are temporary, and if you let them dictate your life, you will always be inconsistent. Discipline, however, gives you power over your emotions. It doesn't care if you feel like it or not. It demands that you show up, put in the work, and stay focused on what matters. Because discipline understands what emotion often forgets, that long-term fulfillment is far greater than short-term comfort. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's not a single moment of breakthrough. It's the accumulation of small, disciplined steps repeated over time. Each morning you wake up early instead of hitting snooze. Each time you choose learning over distraction. Each moment you stay calm instead of reacting in anger. Those are the quiet victories that reshape your life. Most people underestimate the power of these small, consistent acts because they don't bring instant results. But discipline is not about immediate gratification. It's about delayed reward. It's about trusting the process even when the results aren't visible yet. Just like a sculptor patiently chisels away at stone, your daily discipline slowly carves you into the person you're destined to become. The reason many people fail to change their lives is not because they lack desire, it's because they lack discipline. Desire gets you started, but discipline keeps you going. Inspiration can spark action, but without discipline, it fades quickly. You can watch a motivational video, feel excited for a moment, and promise yourself you'll change. But unless that feeling is followed by consistent, disciplined action, it will vanish as quickly as it arrived. Discipline is what separates dreamers from doers. It's what turns intention into achievement. The challenge with discipline is that it often feels boring. It's not glamorous to repeat routines, to say no to distractions, to do the same small things day after day. But that repetition is where transformation lives. The world rewards consistency, not intensity. Anyone can work hard for a day, a week, or a month. But true success belongs to the person who stays the course for years. Every athlete, artist, and entrepreneur who achieved greatness mastered the ability to stay disciplined long after the excitement wore off. They understood that discipline is not something you practice occasionally, it's something you live daily. Discipline also builds character. It teaches patience, resilience, and humility. When you discipline yourself to stick to a goal, you face resistance. You encounter failure, fatigue, and frustration. But instead of running from them, you learn to endure, you grow stronger, more focused, more determined. You start realizing that success is not about avoiding struggle, it's about managing it with consistency and grace. Discipline turns struggle into strength. Every time you push through difficulty, you gain a deeper belief in your ability to persevere. That confidence becomes unshakable because it's not built on words, it's built on proof. Discipline is also the key to self-control, and self-control is the foundation of freedom. The less control you have over your impulses, the more you become a slave to them. You can't build a meaningful life if you're constantly distracted, procrastinating, or seeking comfort. True freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. It's the ability to make yourself do what you should. When you master discipline, you no longer need to rely on external motivation or circumstances. You create your own structure, your own momentum, your own power. Discipline turns chaos into clarity. It gives direction to your energy and purpose to your actions. One of the greatest misunderstandings about discipline is that it limits joy or creativity. In truth, the opposite is real. Discipline creates space for creativity to thrive. It gives order to your thoughts and time to your passions. Without discipline, your potential remains scattered and wasted. With it, your potential becomes concentrated and powerful. Think of discipline as the roots of a tree. The deeper they go, the higher the tree can grow. Your discipline anchors you, allowing you to reach greater heights without losing balance. Discipline also brings peace. There's a certain calm that comes from knowing you're doing what needs to be done. When you live without discipline, you constantly battle regret and guilt. You say you'll start tomorrow, and tomorrow becomes next week. You feel restless because deep down, you know you're not living to your full potential. But when you stay disciplined, that inner conflict fades. You replace anxiety with confidence because your actions align with your goals. You don't need to hope that your life will change. You know it will because you're working on it every single day. The truth about transformation is that it often doesn't feel like transformation while it's happening. It feels like effort. It feels like showing up when you'd rather rest. It feels like practicing self-control when no one is watching. But one day, you'll look back and realize that all those small, disciplined choices have turned into something extraordinary. You'll see the strength you've built, the habits you've formed, and the mindset you've developed. You'll understand that the pain of discipline was temporary, but the reward it created is permanent. Discipline is also contagious. When you live with discipline, you inspire others to do the same. People begin to trust your word because you keep your promises. They respect your consistency because it reflects integrity. Your life becomes an example of what's possible when a person decides to take control of themselves. You become a leader not through titles or positions, but through your example. To live a disciplined life, you must set standards that you refuse to lower. You must define who you want to become and align your habits accordingly. Discipline means saying no to the things that don't serve your purpose, even if they tempt you. It means protecting your focus, your time, and your energy. It means staying true to your values when no one is watching. It's not about being perfect. It's about being committed. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, when your mind whispers that it's not worth it, but those are the moments that matter most. Anyone can stay disciplined when things are easy. True discipline shows up when life gets hard. The person who remains consistent in the storm will always rise above the one who only acts when the sun is shining. The discipline you show in your hardest moments is what shapes your destiny. Transformation is not a miracle. It's the result of thousands of disciplined choices compounded over time. Every day you choose discipline, you are rewriting your future. You are reshaping your identity from someone who wishes to someone who acts, from someone who dreams to someone who does, and over time, that steady, relentless discipline becomes the force that transforms your entire life. Your inner world shapes your outer reality. Everything you experience in life, your relationships, your opportunities, your successes, even your struggles, is a mirror reflecting what exists within you. Most people spend their lives trying to change what's outside of them, their environment, their job, their circumstances, or the behavior of others. But real transformation begins in the unseen world of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. The condition of your mind determines the condition of your life. If your inner world is filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, your external world will echo those same vibrations. But if your inner world is grounded in clarity, confidence, and peace, the outer world will begin to align with that energy. Everything you see around you is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. Your thoughts are seeds, and your life is the garden. Whatever you plant in your mind will eventually grow into your reality. If you constantly think of lack, you'll attract situations that reinforce that belief. If you dwell on failure, you'll unconsciously create conditions that lead you toward it. But when your thoughts are filled with purpose, gratitude, and determination, your life begins to move in that direction. The mind is a powerful instrument. It can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. The choice depends on what you feed it. Positive thinking alone isn't enough. It's the consistent practice of aligning your thoughts with action that shapes your destiny. The outer world is always following the lead of your inner state. If you feel chaotic inside, your life will appear chaotic. If you feel calm and centered within, your life will begin to mirror that peace. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. That is why the most important work you can ever do is the work you do on yourself. It's not about trying to control the world. It's about mastering the one thing you truly can control, your own mind. When your mind becomes ordered, your world becomes ordered. When your thoughts become disciplined, your path becomes clear. Everything outside starts to rearrange itself to match the level of energy you operate from within. Many people think success starts with effort, but it actually starts with energy. Before you can do something great, you must become someone great on the inside. You can't build a life of peace while carrying turmoil in your heart. You can't attract abundance while thinking thoughts of limitation. You can't build healthy relationships while you're filled with resentment or insecurity. The energy you carry within you silently communicates with the world around you. That's why two people can be in the same situation and experience completely different results. One reacts with fear while the other responds with faith. The difference isn't the situation itself, it's the mindset they bring to it. Your outer world doesn't just reflect your conscious thoughts, it also reflects your deeper beliefs, the ones buried in your subconscious. These are the quiet assumptions you've accepted about who you are and what's possible for you. If you believe you're unworthy of success, no matter how hard you work, you'll find ways to sabotage it. If you believe life is unfair, you'll keep encountering unfair circumstances. But when you begin to shift those inner beliefs, when you start telling yourself a different story, you start attracting different outcomes. That's why inner work is the foundation of lasting change. You cannot change your life permanently until you change the way you think about yourself. The mind is not just a tool, it's a creator. Every invention, every breakthrough, every achievement began as a thought. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your living. If your thoughts are scattered, your results will be scattered. If your thinking is focused, your results will be focused. That's why discipline of the mind is essential. You must train it to focus on what you want instead of what you fear. You must guide it toward gratitude instead of resentment, toward purpose instead of confusion. When your inner dialogue becomes positive and empowering, your outer actions naturally follow. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You start responding with strength instead of reacting with weakness. Your emotional state also plays a crucial role in shaping your reality. Emotions are energy in motion. They either lift you higher or pull you lower. When you carry emotions like anger, jealousy, or guilt, they cloud your vision and attract more negativity into your life. But when you cultivate emotions like joy, love, and peace, you raise your vibration and life starts to flow more easily. People are drawn to those who radiate positive energy. Opportunities come more naturally because others can sense your confidence and calm. You begin to experience synchronicities, moments that seem like coincidence but are really reflections of your inner harmony with the world. Your outer world doesn't change instantly. When you change your inner world, it changes gradually like the seasons. Just as it takes time for seeds to grow after being planted, your thoughts and emotions need time to manifest in your reality. That's why patience is part of the process. When you start thinking positively and nothing seems to change right away, don't fall back into doubt. Keep nurturing the inner garden. Keep feeding your mind with the right ideas. Keep your energy steady and your actions aligned with your vision. Life eventually catches up to your inner transformation, but only if you stay consistent. Your inner world also determines how you interpret the events of your life. Two people can experience the same setback. One sees it as a failure, the other sees it as feedback. The difference is perception, and perception comes from the state of your mind. A calm, strong inner world allows you to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Instead of blaming circumstances, you begin to ask, what can I learn from this? That shift in mindset transforms every experience into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop resisting life and begin flowing with it. When you develop inner strength, external problems lose their power over you. You realize that happiness is not found in perfect conditions, but in a peaceful mind. You stop waiting for things to change outside before you feel good inside. You take back control by choosing your thoughts, your focus, and your reactions. This is how you create a stable foundation for your life, because when your inner world is steady, no storm on the outside can shake you. You might face difficulties, but you won't be destroyed by them. You'll navigate them with calmness and wisdom. That's the strength that comes from within. Building a strong inner world requires daily practice. It's not a one-time decision. It's a lifelong discipline. You must feed your mind with empowering knowledge, guard your thoughts against negativity, and take time for reflection and stillness. Meditation, reading, journaling, gratitude, these are not just habits, they are tools to shape your inner environment. When you take care of your inner space, your outer world begins to fall into order almost effortlessly. Peace within creates peace without. Confidence within creates success without. Love within creates harmony without. Your life is a mirror, and it will always show you what's happening inside of you. If you want to change what you see, don't fight the reflection. Change the image. Work on your inner clarity, your beliefs, your focus. The world outside is merely responding to the energy you project. When you become intentional about your inner state, when you choose thoughts of faith over fear, gratitude over greed, growth over stagnation, life begins to shift in your favor. The people you meet, the opportunities that arise, the circumstances you encounter all start to reflect the growth within you. Everything begins with the mind. The world you experience is an extension of your inner consciousness. The more you master yourself, the more you master your life. When your inner world is in harmony, your outer world becomes a reflection of that harmony. That's why true success is not about control, it's about alignment. Align your thoughts with purpose, your emotions with peace, your actions with integrity, and the universe will begin to align with you. Because when your inner world is strong, focused, and full of light, your outer world can only mirror that brilliance back to you. So as you walk away from this moment, remember this truth. Your greatest work is the work you do on yourself. The world will always mirror your discipline, your mindset, and your growth. Every dream you hold in your heart is waiting for the version of you who is strong enough, wise enough, and focused enough to receive it. So keep improving, keep learning, keep becoming. Let your actions speak louder than your words, and let your transformation be your testimony. Because when you focus on yourself, truly, wholeheartedly, you won't just change your life, you'll elevate everything and everyone around you. The journey to a better world begins with a better you.